You know, going into this week, the Pearland Oilers boys basketball team is 12-4 and about to start district play. The 12 early wins is impressive, but our Chevy Spotlight found out it pales in comparison to the amount of games their head coach has won in his illustrious career. Steve Buckelew has been coaching basketball for 42 years, but it took him 15 to finally land at what would turn out to be his dream job. Coach Buck was in Hot Springs, Arkansas, coaching high school basketball and wondering what his next move would be when one day his wife met him at the door.
One day I came home and my wife held up this piece of paper, and it was a little subscription to a coach finder, and it had all the jobs posted in Texas: football, basketball, baseball. And I said, "So what is this?" She had circled the job of Pearland. She said, "This is your job." And so we prayed about it, and I'll be darned, 2 days later, or after they got the resume, they called me and said, "Well, I'm coming down for an interview."
That interview turned into a second one, and then finally a job as Pearland's next head coach. However, this wasn't the Pearland team we know now.
One guy called in this area, a very well-known coach, very well-known in the area, very successful, said, "Don't go to Pearland. It's a graveyard. It's a dead-end road. You can't win there. It's just in their DNA." I looked at it as a challenge.
Buckelew took the negativity that he heard from other coaches and decided to change the DNA of Pearland sports. And in his first season coaching the Oilers, he didn't have basketballs at practice for the first 6 weeks. He instituted Buck Ball, which is a tenacious defense that he still preaches today.
Defense, we just try to keep the ball out of the paint. Don't let them get into the middle. Just keep on the perimeter. We want them to shoot threes. There's no layups, nothing inside. Make them work for their buckets.
Used to getting to play freelance and stuff like that, like AAU and all that. And then coming here, you gotta be more disciplined, move the ball, playing hard on defense.
Buckelew's coaching certainly has worked at Pearland as he led the Oilers to state in his third year, and his teams have made the playoffs 22 of his 27 years at the helm. A couple of weeks ago, Coach Buck reached another milestone, his 800th win.
800 wins comes from a culmination of everybody that poured into me as a coach. I was so bad when I first got into coaching. I knew nothing other than being a player. And I just started picking guys' brains, and people, again, they invested in me, and this has been the benefit.
With 800 wins comes plenty of memories, and Coach Buckelew sure has his share. But to ask him to pick his favorite, well, he doesn't even hesitate.
In 1998, when we beat Elsick, who was #1 in the country, they were 31-0 or 32-0, and they had Rashad Lewis, who ended up being a great NBA player, and we beat those guys to go to Austin. The whole community was back. Anyway, the whole community was there. Sorry. To think those kids were hanging their heads in the hallways, you know, at Pearland, because they couldn't have success, and to go that night and just be able to raise their hand and say, "We're #1. We're #1 in the region," and go to state tournament and see the people at Pearland up on their feet, just totally into it and just celebrating the moment. It was just something special just to be part of, and that was by far one of the best moments in the athletic career at Pearland High School, and for sure in my life.
The Chevy Spotlight is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer and test drive our award-winning products.